Hello everyone, this is part 15 of my Hocus Pocus dollhouse videos. Today I'm going to show you a little bit on how I did these shingles, which I've got part of the house done, and then the other thing I've made this week. I did go back in and do a little more to these from what you see in the video, but at the very end I'll show pictures of how they turned out the way they look right now. This one, I won't exactly explain what this is till we just get into the video, but this one I went over with some Mod Podge, and then I added just a few more details on this one, so you'll see those at the very end of how they look. So let's just get on to the video so you can see what these are and show you a little bit of the shingles.
Alright, so we're going to start with these little brooches that I showed last week or a couple weeks ago. This is where some little jewels came out of here, and I've just put some watercolor paper in there, and then I've put a little piece of that watercolor paper in this little frame. I thought I wanted to do watercolors, but watercolors are so fragile that I think I'd just rather paint these with acrylic, so I'm just going to work on these. So I'm just going to start I'm not sure which one I want to start with, that one or this one. I think I'll do this one first. I'm just going to try to draw a tiny little Winifred, start with her. And I always just start with a face color. And I think the acrylic will be better. I'm trying to make sure that it shows up because I'm afraid the light's just too bright. I think that sort of shows up. I'm hoping that'll show up better as I start putting different colors on there. But I'm just going to paint her little face there, her little head, and then I'm going to give her a little neck, and then create her little chest, because you'll see a little bit of her chest. Now I'm just going to take and do the hair. Maybe when I start adding these colors it'll show up a little bit better. Now these are not going to be real detailed portraits of these of the sisters. These are just going to be real wonky little cartoonish looking things. I want them to look good though. I don't want them to look too silly. I think you can sort of see that. I think that looks pretty cute. And then of course her hair, right around her hairline, she's got some blonde hair, a little bit of yellow, so I'm going to mix just a tiny, just kind of touch that with a little yellow. I'll give her famous little lips. And I'm glad I'm using this acrylic paint. I mean, this is so tiny. I'm just going to put like a little blob. Just a little heart-shaped sort of design there. Her mouth is a little crooked, but I'll try to bring that over a little bit. Alright, that looks okay. I may tweak that a little, go back over it with some flesh color. I don't know that I like it. It just seems too big. And she's supposed to have just a tiny little mouth. So I'm just going to tone that down. Yeah, let's just paint over it completely. I like being able to use the acrylic. I don't think I'd ever got this done with watercolors. Maybe if I was trying a little harder. But see, I think that looks better. That looks way better. I don't know if that's showing up, but I think that looks better than that bigger mouth. Let me see, a little green. I wish this was showing up better. I don't think this is showing up great on camera, but I'm just filming it the best I can. So I'm giving her this little green heart shape there. And then I'll take a little bit of a darker green. And I know her little jacket is darker. And she's got a collar. I think it's looking pretty cute. I don't think I'm going to give it eyeballs. I mean, there's no way I could paint a tiny little face on there. I may try to take just a speck of black and just put 2 tiny little dots on it. And then of course I know her outfit has some purple coming up here. So I think that's already looking kind of cute. I'm going to leave the backgrounds white. I think they'll just pop better on a white background. But once these are completely dry, I am going to take some watercolor in a brown and just sort of age it a little bit around the edges. Alright, so there she is. Now let's try to give her some eyes. I'm either going to ruin what I've done already or make it look good. I don't know. But I think it'll look cute if I could get just the tiniest little eye painted on there. Alright, she looks pretty cute. She's a little wonky looking, but I think it's cute. So she's got her little eyes. Now I'll try to give it a tiny little necklace. Just 3 little dots. Now see, that looks like a tiny necklace. And then just some tiny earrings. Now I will do Sarah, and these are going to be even worse than trying to do Winifred because these are not as tall, so I'm going to have to try and get these even smaller because of the space that I have. I'm going to try to paint them as close to the top as I can get it. So just like with Winifred, I'm just going to paint their little heads and shoulders. Alright, so I don't know if you can see it too good, but there is the little portraits, their little body parts. There, I finally got it to focus. So there's what I've done so far. Now I'm going to do Sarah, and I think I'll start with her little top because her hair will hang down. So if her hair is going to hang down, I want to start with the outfit first, and I'm just going to do a purple. And I'm just kind of making this up as I go. I mean, I don't know that purple is the best color for her top, but I know it's sort of a pinky purplish, kind of multicolored. And then of course I'm going to take, this is going to look more like Rapunzel than Sarah Sanderson, but hopefully not. Just the less I have to paint, the happier I'll be with this, because this is just so tiny. She's got a little mole on her cheek, and I don't know if I'm going to be able to get a tiny little mole, but we'll try it out. And give her some lips. This is probably the tiniest thing I've ever painted in my life. I mean, I like to paint. I paint quite a bit, but I've never painted anything this tiny. And I've got to try to think of something here to make this look a little better. Now Winifred's looking good. Sarah's over here looking a little crazy. Alright, so let me try to help her out here. I'm going to try to give her a little mole on the side of her cheek. I know it's on the right side. I'm going to pull this away from the camera just so I can try to do this better. Alright, so I did the tiniest little speck I could get on there. Alright, I think it shows there. I'm going to try to give her some lashes. It's kind of hard to make this look like Sarah when it's so little. I'm not really sure what to do. I do like the little lashes I just gave her, and I'll show this a little bit better. If it's not clear as I'm painting it, I'll of course make sure it's a little bit more clear when I show it here at the end. That looks a little bit better. It looks kind of more like the mama when she's doing her Madonna thing. But as long as it's a blonde girl, I don't care what it looks like. Alright, so I'm just going to go away from her for a minute and do Mary. I think Mary will be a little bit easier. We're just going to start with some orange shoulders. Because she had an orange top. And then a little bit of red because she had like a little red vest. And then Mary's little mouth, she's always holding her little mouth crooked. So I'm going to try to make her mouth look sort of crooked. She looks kind of sad though, so she's got a little sad face. She looks kind of crazy without hair right here. Let me give her some hair, and that's what will really bring it to life more. Please don't judge my painting skills on this tiny thing, because I promise I can paint decent. I just don't know about this though. And I'm going to try to get some purple in the black of her hair, because she had purple mixed in with her hair. And you know, something that a lot of people don't notice about Sarah's hair is she's got little braids in her hair. And then Mary even has, I think a lot of people probably have noticed the purple, but a lot of people don't notice the spiders. She's got little spiders in her hair. And when I made a wig one time, I did put spiders in it. And that purple's as dark as the black. I don't really like that purple. I need to lighten it a little bit. Let me lighten this purple a little, and then I'll try that purple again. Alright, I think I got my purple brighter. Oh yeah, that's way brighter. Oh crap, I just messed up her little face. Let me go ahead and finish that purple. And let me see here. Let me just go back with some flesh color. Now she's got one eye. Okay. Let me put her little eye back on. May have to wait till that dries a little bit, or that black won't stick good. Alright, now let me try the eye again. And that's the funniest little face, but I'm going to leave it because I think it's cute. And like I said, drawing something this small, you can't get that much detail in it. I mean, I've seen people paint this small before. I've seen people paint on Tic Tacs and make it look like a real picture. So I know it can be done. I guess I'm just not the person to get it that perfect, but I think it looks pretty cute. But I am going to kind of go around Sarah's hair with this brown, because you don't really see the shape of her head against that white, so that just kind of makes her stand out. And I'm going to tone that down just a little bit so there ain't such a harsh outline around it. Just take some more of the yellow and just blend it around, and then that just makes her stand out a little bit more. And I think, let me see, I may put a little necklace on Sarah because she has a necklace too. So let me just put a few dots down here, just as tiny as I can get them to represent a necklace. And I think that's all I really want to do to it. Alright, so here's what I've got so far. I actually like how it looks. I'm trying to think if there's any kind of detail I can put on Mary. I think the other two are okay. There is one thing I'm going to do on Winifred, and that is just to add some little gold details. Just add some little gold spots. And then on Sarah, I'm going to take this color shifting. It's kind of like a purple. I used it back when I did the smoke on the fireplace coming out of the chimney. And I'm going to take that color shifting paint and give her a little top. I think that looks better than just that dark purple. So I'm just going to paint that with this instead of the dark. And I don't really know what else to do to Mary. I think she looks pretty good as she is. I kind of wished I could do something, maybe give her a little bit of an eyelash. I just feel like her face is too plain. And then I just give her a giant eye. Okay, that didn't help at all. Let me just try and go over both eyes. Alright, so there is Mary. I just went over her eyes. I just can't get her eyes the way I want them. So I'm going to try this again. I'm sure they're still not going to be what I want them to be, but I'm just going to try and try and try until I get them. Alright, now that's better. They're not as big as they were before. To me, that looks way better. Now if I could just somehow maybe get an eyelash. Alright, see, now she looks like a bug again. Oh my god, I'm killing myself doing this. Alright, we're going to go over it again, and I'm going to keep on. I'm going to have so much paint globbed up on her poor little face. It's just going to look like a 3D print. Alright, so going over. Okay, now she's got like some weird, okay, I don't know. We may have to do like a completely redo on Mary. Alright, I'm going to go off camera. I'm going to work on this and I'll be back. Alright, now I did poor Mary dirty there, but I tried to fix it. I think I've got her looking okay. I think she looks better than she did. So I'm just going to set this one to the side for now, and we'll come back to this one. I'm going to go ahead and start the other one, and I guess on this one too I'm going to either do one or maybe I don't know, maybe just Winifred. I'm trying to decide. Yeah, let's just do Winifred on this one. I'm going to actually pull up a picture. This one I'm going to be a little more detailed with since it is bigger. So I'm going to do that. Let me pull up a picture real quick. Alright, so we're going to start with a flesh color. We're going to do it just like the other one. I'm just going to start with a little oval shape. And then give it a neck. And then I can take a little bit of brown and give this some shading. That's pretty good. Then take her hair color. And I don't want this to be too bright orange. I want to make it look a little more realistic, so I'm going to darken this hair color on this one. Then I'm going to do some blonde roots. This looks kind of like a orange-headed bride of Frankenstein. That looks okay, I guess. I think the more I do, the better it'll look. I'm going to try to give her 2 little ears. Since this one's a little bit bigger, you'll see the ears a little bit. I'm going to take brown, and I'm just going to try to give her some detail with a nose and the eyebrow. She don't have much of an eyebrow, so I don't want that to be too dark, but definitely have a little bit of an eyebrow. And then the eyes will just be little dots, not anything too detailed. And the earring, I'm going to start with a little black space, and then I'll go over that with gold later. Now let's do her lips. Just 3 little dots to create that little mouth. And then we'll do the outfit. Now she has some sort of a green that comes down. And then here I'm just gonna give her shoulders. And I'm not gonna get, I'm just gonna try to leave some of that white showing there. I just want this to look like a, oops, I had that angled to where the light was blurring it out. But I think this looks pretty cool. I'm liking how this looks. Then let me grab some purple. She's got like this dark purple. See, I'm sort of looking at the camera a little bit. I can see that it's not so sharp. There, I think it's cleared up. It's called up to it. Let me see. Oh, I know something. The key thing for her is giving her these little high cheekbones. I knew there was something that just wasn't looking right. I mean, that right there made all the difference. That really gave her her trademark. I think those cheekbones painted with that pink makeup is just as important as her lips. And then of course something else it really needs is her necklace. Alright, now let me see, what else do I think this needs? I can tell it's lacking something. Maybe make the collar a little more noticeable. That looks a little better. And then I feel like the hairline ain't quite right, so I'm gonna bring the hairline into a little bit of a widow's peak. Maybe. I'm gonna go over that with the yellow to lighten that up a little bit. Tweaking this, playing with it till I get it how I like it. And I just feel like it needs yeah, maybe some gold details on her outfit here, because she's got these gold details. That looks okay. I'll get it, I think I'll just leave it where it's at, and then let it dry, and then come back over that with some of that aging, and then we'll pop it in this little frame and see how it all looks. And I may add to it, I may change it up a little bit, but I think it looks pretty good, and I don't want to mess that up, so I'm just going to leave it like it is for now. Alright, so here we are back with these three, and I'm just going to take some little gray from the watercolors, and I'm just going to put a little bit of that gray in here, mainly around the edges or just anywheres where the white shows. So I'm just going to wet the whole thing and take a little bit of the gray. And of course she looks super silly over here, but that's okay. I think they're cute. I'm just going to wet it since it's that watercolor paper. I just got water on the brush. Just to give it some age. And I think that looks really good. I like it better now. But there's my little Winifred. I think they look pretty cute, but they're a little cartoonish. I could have done them a little more realistic looking. Kind of made the hair not so orange and just gave it a little more detail in the face and the clothing. But I don't mind it being cartoonish looking. I think it looks pretty good. So I'm happy with how that one turned out. And then the other one, you know, like I had showed in an earlier video, this one is actually a little pin, like a little brooch. So you could actually still wear this as a brooch if you wanted to. But I'm just going to have it sitting on a table, like a little 3-frame picture frame. And there's the 3 sisters. They turned out okay, just kind of like the big one. I think they could have been a little more detailed or a little more realistic, but I think it's good enough for what it is. I'm happy with how it looks. So that, I'm not sure where I'll sit this in the house, but I'll probably sit it on one of their bedroom stands. And another thing I've done in this part of the house is I've give a little light up here just to help brighten this up some. And then let me take this bed down so you can see what I've done with that. This was a light that a friend gave me, and I'm gonna turn it off so it don't blind the camera. But it's just this little long light, and it was attached to a base where you could angle it and turn it and twist it the angle you wanted it to be. But I just rolled a piece of poster board around here to make like a loop, like a ring around it. I put 2, I put one here and one here, and I glued those 2 rings of poster board up and under the loft, and then this just slides in those loops. But this is just a battery powered light. You just have this little button here that you turn the light on with, and it just made the perfect thing, you know, perfect light, so I don't have to fool with any cords. You can actually see that white poster board loop right here, and there's 2 of those. The other ones you can see right through there, and I'll paint those just so they don't stand out. But I love how that's brightened up this corner over here. I really like how it looks, and it just took this dark corner and brightened it up some. So I think it looks really good, especially when the bed's in there. Alright, now for this step to do the shingles, of course this is my roof here, and I'll get a better angle of this here in a minute. But I just use cereal boxes. I've got cereal boxes, and I've even got these drink boxes that canned drinks come out of. So what I like to do is I cut these little flaps off. I just go through here and I get rid of the flaps. Alright, and now that I've got these flaps cut off, it just gives me a more cleaner edges. And then I just take my ruler and I will trace out the lines, just draw out lines across there. As you can see, I've got those all done. I just make them as wide as what the ruler is. And then of course I'll cut those out across there until I end up with all these little strips like this. And then I just I don't really measure these out. I just go up through here and I just cut these little slits in here to where it creates these little shingle pieces. And then I will flip every other one up a little bit. You don't have to bend it all the way back, but I just flip them up to get them out of the way. And then I go through and I cut like this every other one that I didn't bend up. I just cut those just a little bit shorter. They don't have to be a lot shorter, but I just cut them a little bit because that just gives a better shape, or a more detail to it, so they don't just line up, because it'll just look like it does here. It just won't have no detail. You can see how that looks compared to out here. Like if I just cut strips and left them all the same, you don't see any detail in that. So you just want to flip every other one up and then clip these that you kept down, and that'll give you that look. Alright, now see here, I've already got 2 rows started. I've got 1 row across the bottom, and then I'm starting my next row. And some people might want these to line up a little bit better. Like they may want one flapped up, and then this one above it will be down, and then up and down and up and down. Mine are just randomly being put on there. I'm not making them perfect. I just want them to have more of a crude look to them. So I'm not really trying to get them to match up perfect or anything, but I just don't want all the flipped up ones to be in a straight row up through here, or else it will look kind of funny. So you just want to stagger them. They'll look more real, instead of just having a row of flat ones and a row of flipped ones. You do want them to sort of stagger a little. So I'm just going to finish this little row, and I just use tacky glue. Now you could hot glue this or whatever kind of glue you want to use, but I guess I'll probably cut it before I glue it on. But I've been using tacky glue, so I'm just going to keep using the tacky glue. But like where this one's flipped, I want this one to be flat. And then you just want to keep it looking like it's part of the same row. So flipped and flat, flip it and flatten it, so it don't look funny. But anyway, I just put a row of the glue on the back here, And you can do it on these flat ones a little bit. And then I even go right across the top of this first row, and that just helps hold that down a little bit better. But then you just don't want to, you want to make sure they stay raised up, because that's just how real shingles look. And then after I get it done all the way up, I will probably Mod Podge it. Do the little snips, and then flip every other one, and then don't forget to trim those. Now I've seen this technique done in several other videos. I'm not really sure who I saw this from first, but I used to do all my shingles one at a time, like individual, but then I saw people doing it this way and thought it was just much easier. So I like how that looks, and I'll just off camera, while I just sit here and watch TV or whatever, I'll sit here and finish all the way up, and then we'll check out how that looks. Alright, so here is how those shingles are looking. And I like how they're just randomly, some are flipped and some are flat, and they're not lined up in any kind of perfect way, because that just to me makes them look more old, or more patched through the years. And I've actually gone a little bit higher than what I said. I was going to go just to right here for now, but I mean it's going really quick, so I've went on up higher, and I'm just going to keep going with this till I get to the very top. So I'll keep on working, and then I'll show you how this whole side looks once I get it done. Alright, so I've got here to the where the chimney comes out, and it looks like a strip of cardboard with these little slits cut in it. Right here I want to just make an individual shingle to go here, so it doesn't just look like one continuous piece. So let me pop that on there, and then that just sort of gave that little individual piece here to make it look like they have been put on one at a time instead of just one flat piece up there. I don't know if that really makes sense what I'm saying, but hopefully just showing you how I put a piece here makes it look like it's not just, you know, one flat piece. It's like this one, and then this one, and then this one is all looking more like individual pieces now. So here is the roof all the way up. I think it looks really good, but the pane, this really didn't take that long. I mean, I'm really happy with how this went. I just sat here watching TV as I was doing this. This part actually is not the hard part. The hard part is going to be trying to paint up and under all this and trying not to miss any spots. That's what will be the hard part. But this went really quick. It won't take me no time to finish the entire house, but this is going to be the only part that I do today. And I'll just work on this between now and the next video, maybe have it finished up. I don't know if I'll have it completely done by the next video or not, but I am going to go and work on this other half of the roof, and then maybe even come over here and start on this part. But I guess that's where I'm going to finish it up for today, is right here. And then I'm probably not going to paint this until I get the rest of them on, like all over the house. So here's how that looks. I'm really happy with how it's turned out. And then I've got plenty more cereal boxes here that I will cut up and keep working on these other parts.